First, we have Maddie Lovett, who is wearing a dress designed and, where's Maddie? Here we go. First we have Maddie Lovett, who is wearing a dress designed and constructed by Singin On. It is inspired by Stump, Brass, and Counting by John Newman, and is made out of colored paper and mat board. Notice how the geometric construction of the skirt is colorful. Thank you, Maddie Lovett. Next, we have Cassandra Tovar, who is wearing an outfit designed and constructed by Aliana Leon. It is inspired by the sound suits of Nick Cave and is made out of newspaper, cardstock, cupcake liners, and buttons. Notice how the skirt holds its shape as she walks. Also, the headdress includes handcrafted floral-like details made by tightly winding paper to complement the bird. Thank you, Cassandra. Next, we have Summer Scaly, who is wearing a dress designed and constructed by Derek Walker. It is inspired by the work of Jason Middlebrook and is made out of paper, landscaping cloth, and trash bags. Notice how the stripes contrast with a wooden color palette. Thank you, Summer. Next, we have Seth Sturgill, who is wearing a suit designed and constructed by Evan Bowden. It is inspired by Twink by Tamara Zahekovic and is made out of mat board, freezer paper, paint, bottles, foam pool noodles, and lime. Notice how the sculptural structure frames the green shirt. Thank you, Zach. Next, we have Ashton Wilson, who is wearing an ensemble designed and constructed by Sue Wilson. It is inspired by Ed Richet's artwork and is made of paper, eggshells, and balloon string. Notice the vibrant colors. Thank you, Ashton. Next, we have Philip White, who is wearing a skirt and shirt designed and constructed by Annalise Bell. It is inspired by Sisyphus X and is made out of paper, wood, a whole hoop, a sewing circle, tissue paper, and cotton. Notice how the skirt down the ribbon walk. Thank you, Philip. Who is wearing a dress designed by Christina Avila and is inspired by the work of Beth Catalin. It is made out of garden fencing, aluminum window screen, bubble wrap, brown packing paper, straw, newspaper, tissue paper, glue gum, and hot glue word. Notice how the aluminum and fencing creates volume. Thank you, Elizabeth. Now we actually have two works that are inspired by Kendall Buster, and this is the first one. We have Melissa Burnett, who is wearing a dress designed and constructed by Timothy Ho. It is inspired by Kendall Buster, the work of Kendall Buster, and is made out of chalk paper, wire, and plastic tubing. Thank you, Melissa. Next, we have Kristen Decker, who is wearing a dress designed and constructed by Kristen Taylor. It is inspired by Floral Vase and Shadow by Betty Woodman, and is made out of poster board, trash bags, and dyed coffee filters. Notice how the flowers look three-dimensional and differ in color. Well, they are three-dimensional. All right, great. Next, we have Ashley Cummings, who is wearing a dress designed and constructed by Jock Hickman. It is inspired by Confetti Desk by Ty Poe, and is made out of threaded construction paper. Notice how the lightweight skirt flows as she walks. Wow, look at that skull. Thank you, Ashley. Okay, speaking of skulls, next we have Portia Whitcher, who is wearing a dress designed and constructed by Alexandra Carruthers. It is inspired by For the Love of God by Damien Hirst, and is made out of broken glass and mirror shards along with paper. Notice how the color contrasts with the shining reflections of the mirror shards. Thank you, Portia Whitcher. Okay, when the models come up here, if you could do the judges a favor, come closer up here so that they can really see the designs and do the whole walk and the turns. All right, next. Hold on. Next, we have Morgan. Morgan's wearing a two-piece suit designed and constructed by Kara Holland. It is inspired by the Untitled art piece by David Shaw, and is made out of wire, a bath sponge, paper, and duct tape. Notice how the multicolored skirt flows as she struts down the runway. Thank you, Morgan. Oh, David Shaw. Next, we have Emily, who is wearing a one-piece skirt designed and constructed by Ditto Park. It is inspired by Untitled by Rachel Whiteread, and is made out of paper. Notice the shape of the skirt. Thank you, Emily. And just to give you an idea, Rachel Whiteread cast a negative space. This is the negative space of the stairs. Next, we have Juwon Kim, who is wearing a kind of coat designed and constructed by Young Cho. It is inspired by All Kinds by Anna Bepke's artwork, and is made out of only dyed paper with grit dye. Notice how the dyed colorful coat has many twisted lines. Thank you, Juwon. Okay, and this is the other one that was inspired by the work of Kendall Buster. Next we have Gavin Kim, who is wearing a dress designed and constructed by Shihai Lee. It is inspired by Double Chalice by Kendall Buster, and is made out of thin paper, wire, stockings, and beads. Notice the shape of the wire, round like the sculpture. Thank you, Gavin. Next, we have Joanna, who is wearing a top and skirt designed and constructed by Nadia Park. It is inspired by Leon by Oliver Herring, and is made out of paper and tissue. Notice how the top consists of many pieces and a bright skirt with a shiny belt. Thank you, Joanna. Next, we have Hyun Ko, who is wearing a dress designed and constructed by Dong Hung Kim. It is inspired by Court Lady by Anne Chu, and is made out of normal white papers, that's what it says here, acrylic paint, orange duct tape, a variety of colored sponges, some strings, and a piece of a white hat. Notice how the long and loose dress flows as he walks. Thank you, Hyun Ko Park. Next, we have Hyung, who is wearing a dress designed and constructed by So Young Oh. It is inspired by the Bronze Sorcerer by Warren Munoz, and is made of paper. Notice the shape of the geometric shape of that dress. Thank you, Hyung. Next, we have Sydney Mouton, who is wearing a skirt and top designed and constructed by Unji Lee. It is inspired by Richard Prince's artwork, and is made out of black paper, tissue paper, and the papers that are printed with Richard Prince's art. Yes. Notice the shape of the skirt. Oh, it's round, and actually those are paper clips that connect the top and the bottom of the skirt, so that's a found object there. Thank you, Sydney. Oh, okay. Next we have Hai Choi Grace, who is wearing a dress designed and constructed by Jisoo Jung. It is inspired by Retreat and is made out of tea bags. Look at the tea bags on the bottom, thin paper and thread. Thank you, Grace. We had a couple images come in at the last moment here, so we're going to add those in. Next we have, we're doing Robert Rauschenberg here, we have Yeti Munoz, who is wearing a top and skirt designed and constructed by Sujin Kim. It is inspired by Robert Rauschenberg's work. Notice the pictures on the top, which says they're Mod Podge stems. Thank you, Yeti. Next, we have Paradita Jackson, who is wearing a dress designed by Ollie Williams, and it's inspired by Kathy Butterly. Look at all the constructions of that ruffle. She did a lot of work there. Thank you, Perdita. And it's made out of extra trash bags for the top. And last but not least, right? Next we have Young, who is wearing a vest and a top on his head designed by Jung Hoon Kim. It is inspired by the work of Matthew Day Jackson. Notice the electric wire on his vest.